Recording in progress.
Jump inside the sub
and buckle on in.
Open your mind,
because it's time to dive into
2, 1.
the deep end.
The deep end.
Welcome to the deep end.
The deep end.
The deep end, bro.
Yeah, brah, deep end.
Deep, man.
Too deep, brah.
Yo, what up?
Hey guys,
Welcome
welcome. I'm so excited to be back. You have no idea.
Welcome back to season 2.
Season 2, episode 1,
Today is January 1st of 2025.
which is actually quite fitting that we're starting off season 2, episode 1 on January 1st.
Yeah, works out perfect.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
means, you know what tomorrow is?
Your birthday, bitches! What? Because I was just gonna say my cousin's birthday is today. Happy birthday, and yours is the next day. What up? Well, you're what, 43 now, right?
Yeah.
43.
So we'll see how that works out.
That's
Lucky number 7.
Well, okay, it's funny you say that because wait, your astrology, your profection year, because every year, whatever age you are, corresponds to a house, and that the themes of that house happen that year, right? And so mine this year being 40 is the 5th house, and so that makes you 3 years away. So that's 6th, 7th. Oh, you're 8th house. Ooh. Because that's the 8th house. That's like, yeah, it's like your fears.
Oh,
That's
fantastic.
your trauma. Yeah, but it's
Thought we just
also-
got over all this shit.
But it's also a finance house too. It's a financial house. So it's like shared resources. Like it's your emotional, like your deep emotions, intimate unions, like the depth of things, you know. I love the 8th house. It's my favorite one. Because I got a hella shit going on in there. And you do too. Like you don't have as many planets, lucky you, but you definitely have shit going on in the 8th house. But yeah, that'll be your theme this year.
Crazy 8.
Oh yes. Mine is creativity, self-expression, fucking children. I'm like, no. I was like, I will focus on my children. Because someone was saying like, when you go through the 5th house perfection year, you could get pregnant. I'm like, fuck that. Like, hell fucking no, dude. Ain't no way. But it rules
Immaculate conception.
I know, right? I was like, I haven't had sex since I last created a child, so it's like that'll take a lot of miracles. It also rules risk taking, so all of those things.
Well,
Yeah.
ought to be fun.
I know, it'll be a fun year. Well, okay, I had a year ahead spread that I did, and I don't accept the results. And so because I'm just like, you know, my financial situation is about to evolve and into what I don't know yet, and I'm trying to trust the universe, you know, and not give in to the anxiety that's like surrounding my heart chakra. And like I'm trying to like do affirmations because I really do trust, you know, and I was just fine. And now all of a sudden it's like click, 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 you know, going up the roller coaster. And
Yeah. I've actually been the same, like, I don't even know I'm going to pay my rent, but I'm not thinking about it. I'm trusting.
well, yeah, because I trust it, you know, but it's like, because like it right around the time that I know these benefits are about to end is in this year ahead spread, like, oh, something, but like if you stay resilient and blah, 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 you'll get it, you know, be great. And I'm like, I don't accept that. I was like, I'm going to work hard and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to hit this head on so that it's not a big, you know, crazy shock. And, so I did a different deck like a week or two later, and it kind of still hinted at stuff. I was like, no, I was like, because the frustrating part is like, things don't just happen out of nowhere. You have to work and put in the work and do the work. And so I've been trying to do that. And so it's
Quack,
just like,
quack, 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 quack. Sorry.
yeah, pretty much that's I got a personal planets in Capricorn, so that's all my brain knows is work, 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 work. Meanwhile, I'm really lazy. I literally do my work in my bed. I love it. But like my laptop and my desk thingy, but like so I've been like trying to ask my guides, like how am I supposed to focus my energy because I feel so scattered because I'm starting to panic. And I don't know. Sometimes they give me answers, other times they fuck with me, and that's how I know I'm like not in the right frequency. So I gotta like, chill. Like in one of my readings I asked like what a solution to some of this shit, and it was basically they're like, you need to fucking meditate. You haven't meditated in like a month and a half. So I'm like, true that, because like fucking Mercury retrograde fucked me up.
Yeah.
It was in my sign, you know. Oh my God, that was a very introspect. I'm talking so much. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, I was having a hard time meditating as well, so I get it.
So, okay, good. I wasn't sure if that was just me because yeah, I was having the hardest fucking time. And
Yeah, so I wasn't sure if it was Mercury retrograde or if it was the Ozempic, because I have been very much questioning if that
no,
has an
it's the
effect.
current planetary bullshit going on right now because even having because now Mars is retrograding into my finance house and yours too. And it's about to bring up a lot of emotions tied to spending because it's going into Cancer soon. And so it's like, and this is just for Gemini risings, by the way. It's not for everybody. Like wherever Cancer is in your chart is the themes of what this retrograde is going to bring up. I'm just talking about us. But anyway,
Hmm.
just a little disclaimer. And so, yeah, so it's like gonna bring up these themes, and I had a really fruitful conversation with my stepdad. So it's like I feel, supported in all of this and I feel less anxiety, but it's just like fucking trying to figure it out. And it's funny because people who don't have kids, I get that and I kind of envy that at times because it's hard, okay? So it's like, why did I make this decision? Because I've had to raise every one of my children on my own. I mean, I
Hmm.
was even a single mom when I was married, okay?
Yeah.
So it's like I've had to do it all on my own the whole fucking way. And now it's like real, and we're in the middle of an apocalypse and like the earth is shifting and I decide to have another baby and exit a marriage with financial security, like let's just make it hard for no reason. And
In the
so
long run, though, it'll be
I
worth
know,
it.
I know, but like it's just like I get now why I chose to have kids because it is literally the only thing that is lighting a fire into my ass. I would not have this drive because my soul came here to create and to have something that's mine, and to stand on my own 2 feet and claim my power, and all that, all the good shit, right? And so I get why I chose to have kids, because I have people relying on me completely. And it's just like the kind of pressure that, you know, sucks. But at the same time, it's like I get why my soul did that.
Yeah.
Plus, I also, the love, we know from a lot of my regressions that I'm trying to learn, and accept love and all that shit. And so that also, too.
Yeah.
That part too. No, it's funny. Pluto is in the only planet I have in my fifth house is Pluto. And that's the planet of transformation, and motherhood definitely transformed me like that. Yeah, Pluto there completely.
So something that I've been kind of asking myself lately, trying to reflect and whatnot, is so I am actually really not doing well financially either. In fact, the Zoom was shut off whenever I went to start our meeting and I had to dig out my card and change my card that was on it and stuff. I keep telling myself like I don't, give into the fear, don't let the anxiety take over. And I kind of have just been incredibly focused on just raising my vibration and trusting that whatever is meant to happen will come to me, or that I'll know whenever the time's right that I'm supposed to do it. And like just focusing on, but then, so am I following my passion and like totally enthralled in this like creation right now? Am I like hiding from my problems, or am I raising my vibration in in an attempt to find a solution, or just to make myself happy knowing that the solution will come to me when the time is right?
No,
You know
this
what I'm saying?
no, I know exactly what you're doing right now, and I'm very like I need to find my thing to give me joy every day because you found a way to pull you out of that funk that you were in. Like I was really worried about you, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, girl, like oh my God, it like don't ever scare me like that again." Because I was even editing that Detective Life audio, and I got to the part where I was like sad that you died, and I'm not done with this work. I'm not done. And you were talking about, like, we're done channeling. We're done with the podcast. And I'm like, I know, I'm not done with this work either. I was so pissed. And then finally you started doing that. And then, yeah. And then, I was really proud of you for that. And I thought it was really cool watching you, find your joy again. And not only that, like the shit you're doing is so fucking dope. Like you actually can make money off of this. Like
I hope
I
so.
would pay money for those cookies. That though
Which I'm
that
not
sh
even doing it for the money, which I think is one of the
exactly, I
reasons that it's
know.
working.
Exactly. I know. Oh my God. That's what I love about it. I love every part of it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I need to find that. I need to find that. And so, I mean, honestly, every time I think about that, I just think about the canvas or my art journal or, like creating art gives me that joy. Also, creating a
Yeah.
meal from scratch gives me that joy. Like my mom I got her a gift for Christmas. I was like, what do I do for Mike? And Mike's really simple. She's like, honestly, just make him a meal. I'm like, well, I gave him coupons last year and he never cashed them in. And so I decided I'm just going to show up to their house with a fucking homemade lasagna. And I'm talking
Nice.
homemade noodles, homemade sauce, like all of it, and a homemade bread. Like that gives me so much fucking joy doing that, and so yeah, I should cook stuff from scratch.
So something that I've been kind of reflecting on, kind of over the past year too, is I've always been really creative. I'm the octopus artist with my tentacles in every medium except for food and cooking. In fact, I despise cooking for multiple reasons. It's like I feel like I spend hours and hours, and it never tastes very good when you're the one cooking it because you've been nibbling the whole time. And I feel like I spend hours cooking and cleaning up for like 10 minutes of enjoyment kind of a thing. But the cookies are different because they like make me happy to look at them, and I can admire them for a while. I don't know. It's just like totally different. It's like more like edible art as opposed to cooking meals. But I also have been enjoying, like the other day I made biscuits from scratch, which I like never do. My whole life I've always used like Bisquick because that's what I was raised doing. And it was so much better cooking it from scratch. And I've been wondering, like, am I enjoying this now because I'm able to, because of the healing that I've done over the last year with the past life regressions, with um, food issues and stuff like that?
Well, yeah, like because when you were talking about not enjoying cooking, I'm like immediately it was like because of your relationship with food,
Yeah.
and I can't explain what I mean, but that's what I felt when you were immediately telling that story.
Yeah. It's like I used to feel like I didn't want to learn how to cook because it would be like teaching a crackhead to make their own crack kind of a thing. I mean, dead serious. Like I've used that example so many times I can't even tell you, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, but what's really weird is I don't know if it's the healing because I also haven't really been eating as much sweets in general since we've been doing the energy healing over the last year. That was already happening on its own. My uh not feeling the need to snack and fill these insatiable holes that were created from a perception of energy holes that really
Mhm.
weren't there. And so that was already heading in that direction. But then I also, about 2 months ago, got put on Ozempic because I'm diabetic. Now I'm working with this medium of sugar cookies and this like beautiful icing and all this stuff. And it's really weird, but I like don't eat them. I'll pop. So I make little mini ones, like little itty bitty ones, the little tiny stars that were on top of the tree.
Hmm.
I'll make a few of those like without icing because I really don't even like icing. I
Yeah,
like
I
to
don't
look at
either. I
it,
just like
but
the
I don't like
cookie.
to eat it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll eat like I'll pop maybe two, maybe three over the course of a whole night of like the cookies that don't have the icing. But I can make that like two batches of cookies like I just made and not eat any of them or eat like one and give them
Yeah.
all away, which is
Hmm.
really cool because I don't know if I would have been able to do that before. So is it like by design that way? Is
Well,
it
that's
because
funny
I,
you say that
you
because when I
know?
make food, when I go all out and make food, unless it's birria, when I make birria from scratch, I eat and I'm like, real, it's liquid gold, that broth. Okay. And I fucking, I love it. And so I do eat a lot of that. But everything else I make from scratch, like if I make a lasagna or like a pot pie or, something in my crock pot, like I barely eat that either. I just don't eat a lot of what I cook. I mainly prefer to share it with others. I
Yeah.
love cooking for people who love food. And
Yeah.
because I know they'll appreciate what I'm doing. Like cooking is a love language for me.
And the flip side of that is so, yeah, if I make you a meal and put a ton of energy and effort and love into it, and then you're just like don't care, or super like nonchalant.
It's
Travis will
so
like,
offensive to me.
well, he'll like, I'll make food and then I'll make him a plate and he'll let it just sit there for like a half hour before he eats it.
Mm-mm. Oh, hell no. No,
And
no,
I'm
no, no, no.
like, eat that fucking food while it's fresh and warm. Like,
Hmm.
you don't give a fuck that I just did all that? Like, I get so mad. I've yelled at him so many times for it.
That's so
It's like,
funny.
that ruins the flavor. Like, you don't let it get old.
The
Care,
disrespect.
God damn
No,
it.
exactly. I know what you mean. I know. Sometimes, like, I'll tell Max dinner's ready. He's like, "Oh, I'll be there." And I'm like, "No, you fucking come. Dinner is ready."
It's time for a vibe check.
Vibe
Vibe
check. It's a vibe.
Vibes all day.
I'm digging your vibe, baby.
We're each going to pull some oracle cards to read what is the vibe of the week.
Hell yeah, let's see what the current energetic vortex has for us today.
It's the first of the year. Maybe we should do a vibe check for the year.
Yes, that would be cool. Okay.
Okay, so I pulled home and vulnerability. So home represents a sense of belonging, grounding, and creating a safe space. For the year ahead, it suggests nurturing your inner sanctuary and physical environment, finding comfort in who you are and where you are, both emotionally and physically. Find time to align your energy with what feels authentic and supportive through family, close friends, or spiritual practices. A reminder to create balance and rest as your home is also your inner being. Consider how you can make your space feel more harmonious and reflective of your true self, which is really interesting because I've been really focused on that
Hmm.
myself the last
Hmm.
like couple
Hmm.
weeks.
Oh yeah, big time.
And then vulnerability. This card highlights the power of opening yourself to others and your own emotions. For the coming year, it signifies a call to embrace your authentic self and trust that being open is a strength and not a weakness. Facing challenges that may require courage to express your feelings, even when it feels uncomfortable, and the potential for deep healing and growth as you step into this space of vulnerability, both with yourself and in relationships. Let go of your fears around judgment and rejection and allow yourself to be seen. Vulnerability is often the bridge to meaningful connections and self discovery. Combine them for this message. These cards suggest a powerful journey of self discovery and alignment in the year ahead. While home encourages creating a supportive foundation, vulnerability reminds you that true safety comes when you are open and honest with yourself and others. This may be a year of deep emotional work, healing, and connection. Trust the process, and it's leading you to a more authentic and fulfilling path. Does this resonate with your current situation or goals?
Yes. Jesus.
Yep.
I love that. Oh, that's funny. So for my year ahead, I drew the Cosmic Egg from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. This card is one of the most profound cards in this deck, and it represents completion, wholeness, and the infinite potential of the universe. And it's a powerful card for the year ahead. Now, the core themes of this is spiritual completion. This card signifies the culmination of a major spiritual cycle. It's a year where you integrate lessons that you've been working on, perhaps for lifetimes, and step into a sense of unity and understanding. The cosmic egg is associated with the crown chakra, symbolizing enlightenment, divine connection, and the realization of your higher purpose. This suggests that 2025 could bring heightened spiritual awareness or even a profound awakening. And it also signifies infinite potential. The egg represents the birth of something new from a place of cosmic perfection. Whatever you've been nurturing, whether it's a project, a relationship, or your personal growth, it's ready to come to fruition in alignment with the divine plan. Key messages for the year ahead is wholeness. You'll find a deeper sense of self, realizing that everything that you've been searching for externally exists within you. This could manifest as emotional or spiritual independence. It's also talks about sacred responsibility. The cosmic egg asks you to honor the sacred within yourself and recognize your role in the greater tapestry of life. This year, you might be called to share your gifts with others in a way that elevates collective consciousness. And you need to trust the process. The egg suggests that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if the path hasn't always been clear. Trust that divine timing is guiding your journey. It also gives a practical interpretation for the card. So you want to prioritize spiritual practices that deepen your connection to the divine, like meditation, journaling, or energy work. Completion and new beginnings. Something significant in your life is ready to close out, clearing space for an exciting new chapter. Pay attention to synchronicities and intuitive nudges. They will guide you towards what truly is aligned with your higher calling. That's really profound because it really touches on everything we were just complaining about.
Yep.
So that's a nice
Divine
confirmation.
timing.
Yeah, it's a nice confirmation.
Nice.
So, do you want to do your episode one?
Sure. So I don't know if I said before. Did I say that I was pulling? I guess I did say I was pulling from Beyond Loria. Okay, so for the next week, I pulled from the Ocean of Wisdom Oracle deck, and I pulled the Dolphins. So the Dolphins card symbolizes playfulness, joy, community. The card says, find joy in playful connections and let your intuition guide you to deeper understanding. This card encourages you to embrace a lighter energy. It may be a good time to set aside worries and invite more fun, creativity, and spontaneity into your life. Dolphins thrive in pods, reminding you of the importance of community. This week might highlight opportunities for collaboration, meaningful conversations, or reconnecting with loved ones. Dolphins are highly intuitive creatures. Trust your instincts this week, especially in situations where logical reasoning alone doesn't provide clarity. Seek balance by allowing moments of joy and relaxation, even amid responsibilities. Reach out to friends, family, and colleagues to foster a sense of togetherness. Beautiful.
That was pretty.
So pretty. Pretty
It was
and witty
pretty
and
and gay. Okay, so my card for the week, I pulled the spider, which this one aligns with the shit I was fucking complaining about and my fucking current fears and anxieties. And it's the creator of prosperity through life's work, Dharma. The spider is an ingenious creator. Its greatest gift is weaving the thread of Dharma into a vast, intricate web that supports the spider and those around it, both financially and spiritually. It is hard work, but the spider neither tires nor becomes impatient. The card reminds us creativity is everywhere. Be process oriented rather than results oriented. And soon your work becomes like weaving of a magical, priceless tapestry. Abundance flows. All right. All right, I get it, universe. I hear you. Fuck. I love it. That's fucking rad. These cards are perfect.
Yeah, they are. Damn. Like blow off the fingers. Still got it. Still got it. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, it's so funny, like the rhythm of our spiritual work and then the podcast. And then when we didn't do it, like I felt so lost the last couple, like since we haven't been recording and doing channeling sessions, it's like kind of, well, and also Mercury retrograde, I was like kind of forced to go within and like kind of do a data analysis of what I've learned so far, kind of thing. Let's analyze the data.
Hmm.
And I fucking got out my tarot cards and I went to town and got so many answers and it was so deep and such a mind fuck too. Like holy shit. But it was like a break that was needed, but at the same time I'm like I'm so excited to be back to like getting into a rhythm and flow of this again because it was just so much for my routine and my mental health.
Yeah.
It's just, well, it's also, I think it's because this is very tied. Like, I've been told, because I asked straight up, like, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be focusing on? Like, how am I supposed to be spending my time? I want to spend it productively. How fucking Capricorn, but like, I just want to be productive about relaxing, and my future, and so I, I lost my train of thought. But like, oh yeah, I asked the cards like, what am I supposed to be doing, focusing on? And it basically was like it didn't tell me outright, but I pulled a card that confused me. And so I asked ChatGPT to interpret it, And it was like basically like I'm not meant for like a conventional path. I need to forge my own way and I need to create my own thing. And I've been told for the last decade and a half that I need to have a spiritually based business. And I'm like, okay, but what, And so recent years, I'm starting to like understand the what, what I'm supposed to be doing with my spiritual gifts. And
Hmm.
now it's like leaning into that and not trying to, yeah, I don't know. Like I know I can't explain what I mean because it's like it's so frustrating because I really am working hard, but there's no results yet.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I keep being told you can't, like, because I know, and like, because I need to get out of that energy. It's not going to manifest anything and stuff. But it's just like the podcast, like, this is all brings me so much joy because it's literally like where my purpose is. Like this one, and I feel like the other one I'm doing too.
Hmm.
It's just brings me so much joy. I really am glad to be back to work.
Yeah, I kind of ebb and flow. I felt like it was really good. My creation in December kind of bounced back to some of the inspiration that I had lost for a long time with my photography and my painting business. And so that was
It was a
interesting being
crazy
back in that
swing too.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah, it just
It
like
was
a light switch just
bam.
split. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Oh yeah, it was so cool. It was so fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I
October, I
loved
couldn't
that.
get anybody to sign up for shit. And then all of a sudden, my classes are booked out and I have wait lists, you know?
Uh-huh.
And so that was really awesome. But I did struggle to meditate as well. So I also didn't have time to, listen to my Audible books or do the guided meditations. I was like just doing my grounding protection, bam, going to sleep almost every night. Like I just really was barely hanging on with a thread on that stuff. But then once everything simmered down now with the holidays, and I've been able to kind of reflect a lot the last week and stuff about the last year uh
Hmm.
and everything. I think I needed that little mental break from this because we've been on like the spiritual fucking fast track for the
I
last
know.
year,
I know.
like way more intense than most people in a really short period of time. It's kind of like my brain or my spiritual, or I don't know how to explain it, but it needed to like go underground and rest for a little bit
Well, and I
so I
was
can
kind
sprout
of
up again.
yeah, because I was kind of forced to do that too. I was just like, let's. I just was. I was just like, let's keep going. Let's just, And so, it was. Yeah, it was nice being, forced to just sit with it all. Like that
Yeah.
Mercury retrograde, that was the point, is to sit with
Yeah.
it all. And I did. It was a fucking mind fuck, but it was a fruitful mind fuck. I learned
Yeah.
I learned a lot, and like I processed a lot, and yeah, I took a lot of notes. I didn't really journal, but I put a lot of notes in my like my phone's notes app. And
Hmm.
so yeah, like I really leaned into my spiritual practice, and it really, yeah, it was so cool what came out. A lot of shit
Nice.
just blew my mind, because I was even asking, like I went down this rabbit hole of myself. Like I started asking about like my patterns, and then they were talking about, well, my patterns centered around my beliefs. Well, what are beliefs that aren't serving me? And so I go into those and I'm like, okay, so what is the root cause of those? And that's where it got a little tricky. I'm like, I think I need to go in meditation with my higher self with that shit, because that's when you bring up like the actual root cause is generally not from this lifetime.
Hmm.
So then I have like these past life spreads, and so I started pulling with like lives in mind. And I'm getting like depth to these fucking past lives with these spreads that I never would have thought of.
That's cool. And
It,
they're making sense and everything.
oh yeah, it's completely because there's things I still wrestle with about like the murder life. Like I don't understand how I could have let someone like that in my life and let it get that far and go that way. And
Yeah.
one of the answers was like because at first I thought a lot of the violence was because he was jealous of things. And then when I was going through these cards, I was pulling things about a lot of it too was I was very self-focused. I was focused on my hobbies and my dance and all of that shit. And I think in that time, you're not, once you get married, you're supposed to focus on your husband and your family.
Shit, I've had two husbands do that to me in this lifetime.
I know, right? And so like, yeah, that was part of the problem is I think he was quick to marry me because maybe he could focus my attention
Hmm.
or yeah, but like it was like to a point where I had to like, I gave up dance. I mean, ultimately I gave it up because I was tired of the interrogation on both sides. I wonder if that's why he like really wanted me out of it. It's because I didn't focus on him. And then so, well, let's put a baby in her and then I could keep her at home.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And that all came out with I was like, dude, I didn't even pick up on that in those lives. Yeah,
Yeah, I've been thinking that I should go back and re-listen to all of the ones from the last year because I'm sure there's so many details also that, when you do bam, 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 do them like every other week, it's like, okay, process this one. All right, on to the next one.
I
It's like
know,
riding
right?
roller coasters at an amusement park. You only have the day,
I know, it's crazy. Because well, and I do kind of like the bam, 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 knocking them all out because I can notice patterns too that way, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
Because like I'm convinced my mom was my mom in the detective life too because of the correlations with the schizo life, but also in this life, like she hates it when I talk about spirit because like her mom and her dad are passed over, and but I have a very close relationship with my grandma. I mean, she was my mom in the 1800s life. She was my mom on Maldeck. So like I have a very close bond with her. And so when I try to talk about it to my mom, like it bothers her. She's like, I don't like that. And she hated it in that life too, in the detective life. She hated it when I would talk to my dad, when I sensed him. Yeah, that because I'm also starting to understand like trauma from this life around early education and like because like I can't have any emotional outbursts and I know that also I wonder if my mom hates that because of the schizo life because when I had emotional outbursts like I like it got there were episodes, and I got institutionalized because of it. And so I'm wondering if she harbors feelings from that, and projects them onto me, you know. Because
Yeah.
I grew up in a house where if you had excess emotions, you just got medicated. Yeah, I don't know. It was like a big joke between my grandpa and I about our ADHD, but like there was one time we were hanging out and there was a girl and we were like with people and it was their daughter and she was jumping from couch to couch just being a little kid. And he was like, "Oh, look, she's got ADD." And I'm like, "No, she's just a kid." Like hyperactivity doesn't mean, "Oh, we got to medicate it. We got to get rid of that." Like it's just
Yeah.
somebody being a child,
Yeah.
and it's just that kind of shit bothers me. I mean, I have ADHD. Don't mistake any of that. Like I am completely, but like, yeah, that kind of shit bothers me. And I've noticed myself talking about it more and I realize that that does bother me is that because I made a comment in a Capricorn moon group that I'm in, and we were talking about how emotional Capricorns really are. And I'm like, honestly, I think Capricorns are more emotional than their sister sign. They're just not allowed to express it because they get medicated. And I found myself typing that, and I'm like, oh shit. But I still posted it, in the
Hmm.
group, but I was like, maybe I harbor some fucking resentment.
Yeah.
But yeah. Because it goes deeper than just this life too, But at the same time, like those lives, I think I should have been medicated in that schizo life. I saw a video that was very interesting and I've like kind of heard about Rh negative blood through, since I've gone the spiritual path. And I've heard that like people talk about its alien origins and all this stuff and how I don't know. So it's kind of like a rabbit holes I've gone down over the years. So I decided to have a conversation with ChatGPT about Rh negative blood. So he kind of told me about it refers to a blood type that lacks the Rh factor, a protein found on the surface of red blood cells. Most people, about 85% of the population, have Rh positive blood, meaning they have the protein. So the Rh factor is genetically inherited, and its presence or absence plays a crucial role in blood transfusions of pregnancies. The things that are interesting about it is Rh negative individuals can only receive blood from other Rh negative donors, which makes them rare and crucial donors for others. If an Rh negative mother carries an Rh positive baby, it can lead to an Rh incompatibility, potentially causing a hemolytic disease in the newborn. This is usually managed by the injection. The percentage of Rh negative individuals varies by ethnicity. About 15% of Caucasians are Rh negative, 5% of African Americans, and less than 1% of Asians are Rh negative. This blood is naturally occurring in a genetic variation, and while its rarity can complicate medical situations, it doesn't have proven links to extraterrestrial or mystical origins. Ongoing studies explore its evolutionary history and potential biological advantages or disadvantages. So it's like there's some weird shit going on evolutionary, but like there's no aliens involved. That sounds like something the CIA would say.
Yeah. They had to put that disclaimer in there.
I know, right? But I actually watched a video um on YouTube. This guy was talking about it, and I never really heard this information before. So after I wrote some notes down, the guy was talking in this video about how well, it piqued my interest because I have Rh negative blood, and I have always had to have these shots when I'm pregnant, which is one thing that they talk about is it's like in no other primates carries this either. It's just humans. And during pregnancy, if the fetus is positive, the mother's blood will attack it. So
Mm-hmm.
why in evolutionary terms does that make it makes no sense when you think of it from an evolutionary standpoint, why the mother's blood would attack the fetus. So those with negative blood share traits like light eyes, blue or green. I have green eyes. Higher IQ. Resistance to disease like HIV, malaria, and resistance to certain viruses, which lead to the question of why this group is so unique. So, okay, so yeah, the guy was saying that basically it shows that there's evidence of it being from a genetic engineering standpoint than from it being evolutionary mutation. And there's a European concentration around people with Rh negative blood. They found they traced it back to European origins, like mainly around Eastern, like I forget there's a city or in Ukraine he mentioned. I was going to start off this segment asking you if you know your blood type. So do you know your blood type?
No, I was actually, that's interesting because in my feed earlier it said everyone knows their their zodiac, but they don't know their blood type. You go to the hospital and you're like, yeah, give me some of that Capricorn blood or something.
Well,
And I was thinking, I don't know my blood type. I know that I can't give blood, and so I have never paid attention to it, to be honest.
I can't. Okay, so I'm O negative, but I cannot donate. I'm like the universal donor, but I can't donate because I lived in Europe in the late 80s, early 90s, and they had some mad cow bullshit. Because like the
Mm,
beef that we got shipped to Germany, because it was when my dad served. So like I lived there when I was a kid. So like the something I was exposed to like bad beef or some bullshit, and so now I can't give blood. And
yeah.
but you know what's funny? Okay, so the thing about this Rh negative blood too is like O negative is the universal donor, but I can only receive O negative blood. I cannot receive O positive. But O positive can have O positive or O negative. Like explain that. That's crazy.
Mm,
And
mm,
so I also found this quote from the Arcturian anthology. So, as a human being, you are intergalactic royalty. You have been seeded by many intergalactic cultures. You have been given extraordinary gifts and abilities, though they are currently latent. They reside in the unused portions of your DNA. So I asked him the mystical connotations of all of this. And so he told me Rh negative blood has sparked numerous theories and speculations, including, quote, alien ancestry.
mm,
Some suggest that Rh negative blood is linked to extraterrestrial origins because it's relatively rare and its genetic inheritance is unique. Ancient lineages, others believe it could be connected to ancient civilizations or royal bloodlines, particularly those claiming ties to the Basque people or Basque, I don't know if I'm saying that right, who have a high prevalence of Rh negative individuals. In esoteric circles, the Rh negative individuals are often thought to possess heightened intuition, psychic abilities, or spiritual awareness. This also has inspired theories around the idea that Rh negative blood results from alien or non-human genetic material introduced to early humans. This stems from its rarity as its inexplicable origins in evolutionary terms. Some believe this blood points to ancient extraterrestrial visitors who influenced human development. Many link Rh negative blood to special lineages such as ancient Egyptians, Sumerians, or even the biblical Nephilim. I don't know if I said that right either. These
mm.
groups are often described as possessing extraordinary knowledge or abilities. And then it talks about the psychic stuff. I asked it more. Let's see, blood is sacred in many traditions, and the lack of the RH factor is interpreted to some as purity or being set apart. The belief aligns with ideas about divine and otherworldly origins. These individuals have an innate ability to connect with higher frequencies or dimensions. It is tied to their genetic makeup that can make them more sensitive to energies beyond the physical realm. Their history is often tied to Atlantis, Lemuria, or other lost civilizations. I found that to be interesting. Its association has led to theories that Rh negative blood might be genetic remnant of those advanced societies.
Hmm. Hmm. That would make
Um,
sense.
right? Then it's talking about astrology stuff. That's interesting. Rh negative individuals might have strong eighth house or 12th house placements, aligning them with themes of hidden wisdom and psychic evolution. Like, I
Weren't we
think,
just talking about that?
yeah, like, I think you should call the hospital because I'm sure they have your labs. Ask them for your blood type. Say, can you
Hmm.
tell me what my blood type is? Because you have to, because if you have a rare one, then you probably have AB negative. That's the most rare.
Hmm.
And
I don't
so,
know. It's not that I'm rare. I got sick when I was a little kid, and I can't. I carry the antibodies in my system, and it could kill someone that
oh,
was immunocompromised.
oh, I get
I
what
got
you
like
mean.
a liver
Oh, okay.
disease when I was a little kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. But I still think you have negative blood. So go find out. Um, let's see. It's linked to the third eye and the crown chakra, and you had yours blocked, you know, really deeply, so you probably do have it.
Hmm.
They have an
Interesting.
insatiable desire to uncover hidden knowledge, be it through ancient texts, occult practices, or science. They're drawn to healing energy. Oh, it says Rh negative individuals are thought to be the catalyst for humanity's spiritual evolution, helping to bring balance, awaken consciousness, and reveal hidden truths in plain sight. We totally are. Damn it, I thought I asked about the Arcturians. I swear I did. But anyway, yeah, studying Atlantis or Lemuria and ancient spiritual practices might unlock deeper insights into your lineage.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is just about them in general. I was just asking about the Arcturians in general. They're a fascinating race, and I resonate so hard with everything about them. Like, they're very, because they're all about ascension, and
Hmm.
it's awesome.
And helping others ascend,
Yeah, yeah, com-
assisting.
completely. So we got some questions emailed to us, and there's some that we can answer because I know from my own personal inquiry, but others we're gonna have to take to a session because they're a little too, I don't know.
Which we plan to do in the next week.
Yeah, yeah, we're having session, yeah, next week, and then yeah.
So we'll report back the answers to the other questions on the next episode.
What happens to a soul that commits suicide, overdose, euthanasia? Honestly, from what I've gathered in my own, quest for answers about how everything works, is that's just another way for you to exit your life. The soul, like a simple answer is the soul comes here to experience things, and that includes death, and sometimes souls will exit early when they're not supposed to, or sometimes it's just like when I'm done and I want to exit on my own terms kind of thing. But what happens to you is if you do it and you're not done yet, if you pull the plug early, you're not really rid of all your problems. You'll have to come back and do it all over again under different circumstances, and sometimes the circumstances are a little harder. But I mean, not anything crazy, because then you'll just try to exit again, you know.
Yeah.
And so
You are
that
the one that chooses the circumstances also.
exactly.
So,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. You choose how you're going to work through your karma. You set all of it up. You're not a victim of your circumstance. You set all of this up. And it's kind of a crazy truth a lot of people are afraid to face, but
Hmm.
it's the truth. You set it up. So like if you look at it from that standpoint, there's shit you're trying to experience and you're trying to work through, or there's just stuff that, yeah, you just want to experience it. Sometimes it's karma related, other times it's not, because you're still dealing with free will. But like, yeah, a lot of it's just for the experience and the lesson. Once you can make peace with that truth, then you can start to understand why and go deeper into that and, you know, kind of take your power back in these situations, quit giving your power away to victimhood and all that shit.
Yeah. In your life planning, there is usually several points of exit that you have pre-set up.
Hmm.
And every single moment, whether you die in a car wreck or whether you die by jumping off of a balcony, which we know I did in a past life,
Hmm.
um, it's always your choice. It's
Mhm.
always your choice. Sometimes people don't perceive it to be that way because of the limited view on the current human existence and views because of dominant, religious beliefs and stuff. But generally, you're always in control. You choose if you're leaving or not. You choose when. You choose the possible times when. So, yeah. And
Mhm.
we have both had past life regressions where we have committed suicide.
I had a life
So,
back to back, lives back to
yeah.
back.
Yeah. People, that have loved ones that have committed suicide and worry about them, their souls are still there. They're still around you. They're still supporting you.
hmm
Um,
Nothing bad. Yeah, they're not burning in hell or in
yeah.
purgatory or that all. That's
Yeah.
all like fake stuff. That's
Yeah. Honestly, hell is having to come back to earth. Not as in the way of like, oh, the devil, blah, blah, blah. Like the hell is like yourself and having to continue until you succeed kind of a
until you
thing.
get through it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, okay. Yeah, I get what you mean. Because that is true. You're going to ascend no matter what. So it's like, it's just a matter of how long you're going to spin your wheels. And it's fine. Some people, it takes a lot of lifetimes to get through something, and that's okay. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure there were a lot of lives I was hung up on some shit. And so it's just until your soul's like, I've had a fucking enough. I'm done with this cycle. I'm fucking done. And if you could consciously choose that in this realm, then you're the better for it. It's when you make those decisions on the other side, because you have to still come back here and work through it. So it's like on the other side, you could be like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with this cycle. And so you like come into Earth and you forget. And so you're repeating all these fucking cycles again. And then you go back over, oh, I did it again. Well, okay, well, I'm done. I'm done with this. You have to be done with it on this side for
Yeah.
true growth and change to happen. But that's a
Yeah.
whole other story. But
Yeah.
basically, like, it's all just for the experience. Like people who die by suicide or overdose, like, yeah, it's just a way to exit. Sometimes also too is your choices. You have free will, and sometimes it's the choices that you're making that lead you. It's like a choose your own adventure, that's what your life is with your free will. I mean, granted, you'll be worked back through shit that's like meant for you, but like sometimes choices you make can lead to your demise that wasn't planned, but it was a variable or a possibility. And that just happened to be you chose the right adventure to that possibility kind of thing. Because I have that feeling with my murder life. There was many possibilities and many ways that could have worked out, but it went completely to the most violent and tragic,
Right.
you
Because
know.
you pretty much come in with a plan of a theme or themes
hmm
that you're going to work through, but every choice you make determines how you're going to explore those themes. So
Exactly.
you have the loose parameters, but the details are not predetermined.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's like, yeah, you got your outline and you're like, you're gonna work in between these boundaries, but it's your free will that's gonna determine how hard you slam up against the walls of those boundaries. Which kind of segues into this next question. They want to know how many options are the souls given? Does the soul often incarnate back into the same country, or does it try different ones? Okay, so how many life options is the soul given? I've thought about that. I would love to take this to a session to confirm, but I've thought about that. I've thought
Hmm.
how many I feel like given the karma that you're carrying and the karma you're here to work off, and like even down to like how your avatar's gonna look. You get to choose your life. So you get to choose what you look like. You get to choose what your name's going to be. You get to choose your birthday. And so in doing that, it sets up the life. Because I've thought how your astrology chart's chosen. Like, how did I choose this moment to come in and have these planets be here? And how does
Hmm.
it align so fucking perfectly with my past lives, and the stuff I'm trying to work through? So it's like you have a combination or a possibility variables, and you have to choose between those. You don't just get an infinite number of possibilities.
Well, and we also know that you can plug in anywhere on the timeline based on what you need to learn.
Exactly.
So that adds a whole another level. So, this life now in 2025, your next life isn't going to be immediately after this. It's very unlikely. It could be, but it's very unlikely. People bounce around at all points in history, but not just on Earth, on other planets as
Oh
well.
yeah. Hmm.
So, so don't limit your thinking to it in that way
And
either.
yeah, and it being linear because it's not. Yeah.
It's more about what you want to learn and what other people in your soul family are trying to learn and who you know that can help you learn these lessons and uh, work together, kind of a thing.
Yeah, because exactly, because like this book I had, they explained it so well. They were like, you look at it like it's a game, and everybody that is players in your game, and you're also a player in their game.
Mm-hmm.
And some people you work together with, and other people you work against, and you're fighting, and you're like pushing,
Literally like a video game.
Exactly, yeah. And so it's like, and you plan every interaction, whether right down to like somebody you say hi to at the bus stop, something as minor as that to, a great love affair. Like you plan every interaction that you're going to have because every interaction nudges you a certain way in your life. And if you pay attention to that, like yeah, it gets really deep, those concepts. Yeah, like you're also a player for them, you're a different kind of character in everybody else's life too. Like one person, you could be the main character, some person's life you're the villain, you know. I hope that I'm the fucking clown in everybody's life. I hope I make everybody laugh and they think of me as such. She's silly and a little weird. Okay, so this is a good question. They said, does the soul often incarnate into the same country or does it try different ones? The amount of times I've incarnated in Scotland surprises the fuck out of me. So yes, like you and France, you and I both have incarnated in France a lot too.
Yeah.
The soul, there is definitely places in the world that the soul loves to be and loves to incarnate in. And there's places the soul is traumatized and doesn't. Like there's certain countries I have zero desire to go to. There's states I
Hmm.
have zero desire to go to. And so, yeah, you
Yeah,
choose
if you
to,
ever have a feeling of a place where you just don't like it and you're not quite sure why, usually it's because some sort of trauma happened to you in a past life there.
yeah. Hmm. And so, yes, you do like to try different ones, but, and the same with planets too. You could have
Hmm.
preferences of planets too. I know I had a lot of lives in Lyra because I loved it. But your soul just, yeah, you choose all of that. And it's based on, yeah, preference, because you had a client that had the option to have a life in another country or to have another life back in New York. And he
Hmm.
chose New York because he loved it so much.
Hmm.
How long does it take the soul to heal or reflect on that life they just had and jump back into an incarnation? How many months or years in Earth time would you say? Because I know time doesn't exist in the spirit realm. I don't know. I've actually never really asked that, how long it takes for us. Because I heard a past life regression, this chick channeled Hitler, and he spent many, many earthly, like, was it like a couple decades, I think 50 years in absolute darkness, trying to process all of that.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
I can actually answer this because this is part of what I do during my sessions. And we ask that about how long people go back to their healing space in between. Some people don't. Some people jump right back into another incarnation and don't spend any time processing or healing at all.
I know
And
that's
those are
where
the
all your
people.
crazy phobias and shit. Yeah.
Yep. So those are the people that you see have, massive amounts of anxiety and crazy phobias and unexplained bodily issues that don't have any medical reasons in this and that they could figure out, like medical anomalies and stuff. And then other people, go to their healing space and spend a lot of time there. And every soul has multiple places that they can go to heal in between incarnations to process this. And you can take as long as you want. Some will continue to go until they finish a certain cluster or theme, and then they'll take a break and process the theme as a whole. I've heard it all different ways, but I will say that you can't look at it from Earth time, how long it takes, because again, time is not linear. And yeah, maybe you have a life where,
Well, like there was that life that I had. I went from between the samurai life and this one, I went to Venus and I did an incarnation in Venus just because it was,
hmm
it was just beauty and relaxation and all that shit, you know.
yeah, so let's use
That,
your samurai life as an example. So the life before that was the 60s, right? 50s.
it was
Yeah, and then
yeah.
you jump back to the 1300s, right?
hmm
In the next incarnation. So, um, yeah, so a lot of people want to think of it.
And the reason why is because I was violently murdered, okay? And then I needed to work that out. And so I chose a time where I could go to battle and just fucking murder people,
Yeah,
and it was socially acceptable. So I chose a time in history when that was cool, but I also chose a culture that's centered around peace and tranquility and meditation, the Buddhism stuff. And
yeah,
so I chose a family and a father that would try to teach me how to work through the shit my soul was holding on to. And I couldn't. And I, was a fucking dick to my family. And then I would go fight in war and shame, And so I never really processed it and worked through it very well. I couldn't meditate because when I tried to meditate, my trauma would come out, but I didn't like it. And so I got pissed about it. And I
yeah.
carried that into this life. So it's like, that life was 2 lifetimes ago, but I still carried all of that shit with me. And it
hmm
manifested as anxiety. I had a time in my 20s where I had all these autoimmune disorders my body was mimicking, but I would go get tests done and all the tests came back fine. So it's
Yeah.
like my body was completely trying to get rid of this trauma that I was holding on to, for years. And so then for a while, I just started drinking all the time. But
And
yeah,
I think that's why a lot of people do it,
hmm
because and that's one of the reasons why addiction is such a rampant issue is because people are dealing with these traumas from past lives. But as far as society knows, this is our only life, right? Like, and so it's not like commonplace to seek healing from past life trauma. And so they just know that they feel empty and depressed, but don't know why. So they self-medicate.
Well, and when you try to talk about it, people, they like look at you like you're crazy for feeling bad about something that didn't even happen in this life.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like I was just looking out my window, listening to piano music, and something just hit me and it made me think of my daughters in that life. And every time I think about them, I cry. And I did. And I even pulled some cards wanting to know what happened to them. And that made me cry because I kind of it confirmed what I already suspected. But it
hmm
was just like there was just so much emotion still tied to that. And then that 1800s life, when I try to recall that life, I cry. It's like there's just so much emotion. And it's like, how can you have all that emotion tied to something that never happened to you in this life? And so it's
Right.
like, how do you talk about that with somebody?
Yeah.
And which this
Especially
also,
people that want to gaslight it and.
yeah, it's like stupid and it's not real. It's like, okay. But
Yeah.
like, but this is interesting. It kind of brings it to their last question. It says, why do we carry over traumas, fears, or phobias? Why not start fresh? Like, it's not like your soul just begins and ends a life and that's it. And then the whole point of a life is to experience things. And so when you experience things, it becomes you. It's what adds depth to you. And so you can't just experience trauma and be like, okay, I'm done. It's over. I'm good. I'm going to start fresh. Like, that's not really how it works. It's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing process because the whole point is the experience. The whole point is the trauma. You're trying to experience this trauma because you're trying to learn about it and and to understand it. Because in the astral, there's classes and there's people who haven't even incarnated on Earth yet who have no idea what it's like, and they take classes to learn what it's like. And a lot of times people who are familiar with Earth teach these classes. Or if you're stuck in a lesson on the in the Earth school, you could go to these schools and learn about it so that you can master it when you go Earthside. So it's like things in the astral, people will counsel you and teach you about it so you can understand it from other aspects. And so then you come Earthside to learn it, deeper. That's why the shit you carry, it's hard for you to you haven't processed it. And so it's hard for you to understand it.
Yeah, and the ultimate goal, I mean, the whole point of incarnation is to experience and understand things from like a globalized perspective. So if you are exploring a certain theme, then you're going to have a cluster of lives where you're going to explore all sides of that theme. So murder, for example, you're going to be the one that's murdered. You are going to kill someone else. You are going to have someone that you love that's murdered. You will explore all these different ins and outs of this theme until you feel like it's mastered and you fully understand it. And then you move on to the next ones. Mm-hmm. And ascension is the goal is ascension, which is, the ultimate, learned everything.
Well, no, the ultimate is just being source, your own.
Yeah.
Like you are God.
You return to source because yeah.
Yeah. And so, because I mean, that's a whole other can of worms, but
yeah.
But yeah, and that it's backed up with the multiverse. Maybe there's sources for every universe, and you become source for a universe. You create your own universe eventually. You know what I mean? So it's like, because there was a set when we were talking about life planning early on in our channeling, we were asking about that, and I sat with Source before coming into this life. We were going over my contracts and stuff, and there was things that I was nervous about, and Source was talking to me about times that he lacked courage, or he, she, it's not any gender really, it's just Source, but like, you know what I mean. But when Source lacked courage and how they overcame that, and I just thought that was a very tender, like a a little parental moment, kind of thing. Like, you got this. It's okay. I've been where you've been. I made it through. You got because eventually you really do. The whole point is ascending. You're not going to stay stuck in a level for all of eternity. That's not how it works. The soul is kind of pre-programmed to ascend and desire ascension. It's just some people are at different points than you are. And also some people are new to Earth school too. Some people are almost done. Some people are right in the middle of it. Some people are at the very beginning. But at the same time isn't linear. So it's like at this point in the timeline, in this version of that person that that's just starting out, there could be a life back 300 years ago where you're in that life with them, and that's like one of their last lives, and it's one of your first ones,
Yeah.
It's just it's like when you really like wrap your brain around some of these concepts, it's like it gets so deep. But I don't know.
Deep, man.
It's so deep, man. Too deep, bro.
We also wanted to let you guys know that if you have any questions about what we talk about, if there's anything that you want to know about the universe, email us at thedeependpodcast2024@gmail.com.
Yeah, totally. We'll do our best to answer your questions, and it'll be fun. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in, listening to our podcast, and following us into the depths of the subconscious and the unknown.
Into the depths of your soul.
Come find me and book a reading on www.mutablemystic.com. Find me on Facebook at Mutable Mystic. You can find me on Instagram at mutable_mystic. Also, if you'd like to check out any of my music, you can find me on SoundCloud /stay, STE_music.
And you can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook under Quantum Healing with Steph Green, and book your own past life regression session, or you can send me a message on Facebook and we could talk about what you have in mind. And don't forget to like, follow, and share the Deep End podcast on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in today.
Hell, we can bend your mind next time. Always remember to ground your feet in the dirt and enjoy life with those gratitude glasses on. Pass this on.
The Deep End.
The deep end.
Welcome to the deep end.
The Deep End.
The deep end, bro.
Yeah, brah, deep end.
Deep man.
Deep end. The deep end.